We're 2 minutes late, but here we are live at 5. My name is Melinda Coletta. It's my husband, Phil Griffin. Together we're Professor Chef, and we teach you how to play with your food. So tonight we're going to be making a gluten-free sweet potato gnocchi from our most popular menu, Dinner in Tuscany. We're going to finish that with a sage brown butter sauce. The recipe will be posted on our YouTube video tomorrow morning. When you click the upside down triangle on the bottom right hand side, right above where it says subscribe, that if you hit that number, that upside down triangle, it will give you the recipes. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button so you'll know when we load up a new video.
All right, you got all your plugging done?
I think so.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, so we're going to be making sweet potato gnocchi. We're making it gluten-free. What makes this recipe work well with gluten-free is we're not relying on the flour for a lot of binding agents.
That's correct.
We have additional binding agents in here. So what we did before we started, we took a sweet potato, peeled it, diced it up really small, put it in the microwave, and then we cooked it.
But one important point about putting it in the microwave.
We did not put any liquid in with it. We really don't put any liquid in because it would add too much moisture to it.
Right, and no cover. So literally, just sweet potatoes in the microwave.
So that's all been mashed and ready to rock.
How long did you put it in for? Because I put it in for an extra 5 after you did
It's
your...
probably about, because it's a hard item, it's probably a good 10 minutes almost, yeah.
And it also depends how big the sweet potatoes are. And
behind you.
How much you're making at that time.
So we need ricotta cheese in this one. We are using homemade ricotta cheese. This is homemade because, again, we don't want the moisture content.
That's correct.
Whole milk, 1 to 1, 1 quart to 1 ounce, heated temperature up to 170.
1/4 whole milk to 1 ounce of cider or white vinegar.
Right, and then we're going to scrape that all in. So this is really nice and dry. The longer you let it sit, the drier it will become. And we've also done this before with, we made homemade ricotta cheese when we did the crepe class.
Yeah.
We made the manicotti. If you look here too, that's a little bit of liquid left over. That's the whey. Right, so that's all set.
Thank you.
And for flour, we're using a Bob's Red Mill 1 to 1 flour to add to this recipe.
It's the baking mix.
Mix,
okay.
yeah.
So there's rice flour in there. There's tapioca. It's a bunch of different flours together, and we find it works really good with this.
Right, so we're gonna add the flour to the dish.
Yeah.
Don't go too far with that, please.
Uh-huh.
I know you have a tendency to move things on me. So we're gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna have to eventually get my hands in here and knead it. And the reason why you want to knead it because you want to get it all developed together.
You want it all one homogeneous
Right.
Unit. And it just takes a while to get it all to come together.
I guess we can speed the process up. So you keep on kneading this, keep on kneading it, it all comes together. When it all comes together, that's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Comes together.
Sometimes, yeah.
Voila.
Very good.
All right. And you want to make this up a little bit ahead of time because it gives it a chance to help form up.
So what happens is when you're adding the moisture, which is from the sweet potatoes, when you add the moisture in, you just want a chance for that flour to absorb all that moisture, and it just works better. So we let it go for about, 10 to 15 minutes. You could let it go 20 minutes. But...
Right. So cut up into equal portions.
It's already going.
Gonna flatten it out. Now this is almost like working with a potato gnocchi. If you ever made gnocchis with potato before, you have to rice it and everything else like that.
You have to what?
Rice it.
Rice it. What does that mean?
Ricing is, explain, because I'm rolling at the same time.
So what it is you're putting it through a machine and you're squeezing it and it comes out like rice.
It's very, very fine.
Very fine.
So what happens when you rice that, normally this gnocchi when we make it, you roll it and it doesn't fall apart. This one here, as I'm rolling it, it is sort of falling a little bit apart, so I have to squeeze it back together.
It's a little bit different than a regular gnocchi dough where we use traditional all-purpose flour.
Yeah. But it does hold together pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
So we're going to roll those out.
This is great to do with the kids. This one and the cavatelli.
We made that earlier in this series of classes that we're doing. The
So-
cavatelli and the we made that with semolina flour.
But that's fun to do with kids because it's something to do. And then you know what? While you're doing it, you can also teach them math as well. I mean, cooking's a lot of.
And we also did a gnocchi with the ricotta gnocchi. That's really easy to make with kids.
Yeah.
It's like working with Play-Doh.
Yeah. Oh, so I will post those videos. Up top, you'll see something come across suggested video. I'll put the cavatelli and the ricotta gnocchi ones inside this one.
Right. So get these rolled out. I'm gonna leave that last piece because I don't think we're gonna need it
We
yet.
probably won't need it. So you don't necessarily need any special equipment to do this, but we do have this little gnocchi board, and it's ribbed. You can do it with a fork. You can do it with your thumbs, which we're gonna show you. But we can get these on Amazon for like $5 or $6. And I do like the way it makes the gnocchis look. I think it makes it look prettier. And all those ridges, that's where the sauce goes. And our sauce is very complicated this evening. It's got 2 ingredients, butter and sage. That's it.
If you don't want to use a knife with kids, a bench scraper is a good thing to use.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of flour on this.
Not too much, not too. Hold on.
And then we just roll it down. You don't have to, that you can always do the side of your thumb.
But no, that other camera can't see, so.
And these are falling apart a little bit because of the we don't have any gluten holding together, but they do work.
But it does work.
Right,
And
talk
it
to
does
them about
taste
putting
well.
it on a tray. What to do with these
So,
later.
when we make gnocchi, we suggest that you make a poop load of gnocchi.
Make sure that water's boiling.
It is. So you got a cookie sheet. You put all the gnocchis that you're not going to eat that night on the cookie sheet. You put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. And believe it or not, they should be sufficiently frozen. Then you put them in a bag, a Ziploc bag, and throw them in the freezer. So you don't want to put them in the Ziploc bag first because you'll have a huge gnocchi. And we want little individual ones. So when we had Mia, my daughter, at home, sometimes she would come with all of her college friends, and we would have dinner, and we would do a lot of that. We would do the gnocchis.
Gnocchi, we always had pesto around, so it was always gnocchi and pesto.
So there was always something in the freezer that the kids could just grab and go,
and
even if they came unexpected.
And if they were nice to me and they shamed me into it, they got the pink vodka sauce.
Well, that was a game.
Yeah, I know.
You know that was a game, right?
Yeah, I know.
So,
too many daughters in my life.
Yeah.
Too many women in my life.
So what we would do is we would start to make it and keep asking him questions, and then he would come in and finish it, and which is ultimately what we wanted to have happen. So.
Yeah, love you guys too.
Yeah. But yeah, when I post the ricotta gnocchi recipe, that one we did that with pink vodka sauce, which was a very requested sauce in this house.
Going on the tray. If they're sticking a little bit, add a little bit of flour to them so they don't stick. Okay, it's all up to you.
So I'm gonna go pop these over into the boiling water, and no salt in this water, because I think the pasta has enough flavor.
So, is this camera set up so I do need to move the burner over?
Yeah, it should be in the shot.
So, we're preheating the pan a little bit. To this pan, we're going to add some salted butter. We only use salted butter.
When's the only time we use unsalted butter?
Well, when you use it, when you make buttercream, but I don't make buttercream.
Well, I made it with my friends. I'd be afraid to make that alone.
So now what we're doing is we're taking the butter and we're browning it. We're making a brown butter sauce. So it's sage brown butter sauce, sometimes referred to as a noisette sauce.
Show them those beautiful sage leaves.
And those came out of the garden. This plant is 5 years old.
Winning.
You put them in with the fancy side facing down, so you see the ribs towards us. And the reason why we do that is because you always want to put the presentation side in the pan first, because that's what's going to show when you serve it.
And talk about how you're putting it in, like if this was
always go away from yourself.
Right. So if this was the back of the stove, he's going towards the back of the stove.
It's not going to make much difference with sage leaf, but it does make a difference with everything else. So what I'm doing now is I'm browning this sauce. How we doing?
Good, I can bring it over to you though.
All right. So what's happening, I'll slow it down a little bit, is the butter is now getting nice and brown. It's warming up a little bit. But the butter is getting nice and brown. What's key about this sauce is the color, but also the smell. I have a really strong nutty smell to it. Notice that. If I added lemon juice to this, I would have a Meunier sauce. That's good for fish. So what we have to do is we have to add the pasta to it. You add the pasta to it, it cools it down. That little bit of pasta water helps slow it down.
And I brought more just in case you needed it.
Just toss it. And that's it. I had a plate out here.
There you go.
I need my tongs, please.
There you go. They don't take long to cook. Fresh, like we just had them, like 3-4 minutes when they start to pop or when they start to rise to the top, they're done. We were cooking them frozen, and please, if you have them frozen in your freezer, leave them frozen and dump them into the water. It's going to take double the amount of time to cook, but you don't want to defrost them prior to.
It's that easy.
It's that easy. And sage brown butter goes on a lot of like.
So sage brown butter sauce we use in this application.
Yep.
Lobster ravioli,
Yep.
pumpkin ravioli, just a lot of different things. I mentioned if I put fish in here, put lemon juice in, I have a Meunier sauce. It's going to be one of the few times you ever see me working with butter ahead of time.
Yep.
Again, salted butter, you have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Because you're almost burning the butter. And you use that liquid to cool it off.
And these sage leaves are a garnish.
They're really crunchy too.
I love these. I love fried sage leaves. So I think it's like one of those things you either love it or you hate it.
And it's different when you fry it too.
Yeah.
It gives it a whole different flavor.
It's not that Thanksgiving.
And you're not overpowering with sage in that sauce. It's a nice mellow sauce to it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's our sweet potato gnocchi, gluten free. I forgot to talk about the pro tip, but that's we got a pro tip at the end. We're almost at the end though.
We did do the pro tip.
We did? No, we didn't.
We talked about the pro tip was what we do with this sauce otherwise.
All right, whatever.
That's it. We got everything.
That's it?
Tomorrow is the roasted peppers. Stuffed peppers with quinoa.
Stuffed peppers with quinoa. That's going to be really, really, really good. So you're going to want to watch that. And then...
Wait a minute. Everything we make is really good.
Well, some of the stuff... I know everything I make. But
it's been funny. My daughter Sarah, who's been with us a lot more lately, she's eating and she says, "Dad, this stuff is good." I said, "Yeah, your father might know how to cook."
Yeah. But anyway, so we're doing the quinoa stuffed peppers. Thursday we're doing
lamb coconut pie.
And then Friday?
Chicken parm.
Chicken parm. So
all gluten free.
Yep. So we'll see you live at 5 tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.